think I've about got everything back up and going, and I think Justin is going to join us. Meteorologist Justin Bailey is out taking a look at the storm. Right now is reporting no hail, and the winds maybe 20 miles an hour, and he is in the Laverne area, Murfreesboro Road. One thing that could be giving me an issue here, so we're going to take care of that right there. So this is a look to the north from Siegel toward that storm in Smyrna, Laverne. You can see the dark lowering clouds. Downtown Murfreesboro looking east. Boy, those clouds look really angry too, don't they? Goodness. Let's see what we can do here. This is downtown Murfreesboro looking off to the northwest. So the Siegel camera was a little closer to the Nashville area, but this downtown camera is looking to the north and west. We also have a view in the Triune Amilville area, and you can see the backside of that storm. And a view at the Gateway area. That is not looking in the direction that we would need to see, I don't think. Not exactly sure where that is, but I can tell you that the camera you're seeing there is definitely pointed toward the storm. Here's another look at the radar. Again, we're following a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for North Rutherford County. I'm going to call out a few communities here, so let me get the radar here back for you. It is approaching, or has approached already in the northern extent of 840 in Rutherford County, and is about to right around the Smyrna exit. The rain starting there, heavier rain just to the west in Smyrna. But right now, not getting too many reports here of hail with this storm. Justin Bailey, who was out in the storm, was reporting not really seeing a whole lot going on there. So Sand Hill up toward Laverne, the Veterans Memorial Park, even down toward, well, there's Toots in Smyrna, so that has to be Sam Ridley Parkway. So definitely the rain picking up there. High winds. Let's look at one additional thing that would kind of tell us what the radar thinks is falling from the sky. And we're seeing mostly rain, heavy rain, from Walnut Ridge, Stone Ridge, up toward the Bridgestone Firestone Distribution Center. But there is a small hail core, but that is up in Davidson County. And the current movement of that, it may clip Lake Forest. We'll keep a close eye on that. But that seems to be where this storm is warned for wind and hail, but it is definitely the hail that is kind of a bigger issue there. Some new counties being added, not including Rutherford. That's for our little storm that's down in Columbia. These storms are pretty much moving due east. There has been another storm pop up back toward Franklin. That one looks like it's drifting a little more to the north and east, but could be an afternoon of these things pop up and you're okay for a minute, for a little while. When it was back to the west, we had several warnings back there. But again, the National Weather Service is kind of thinking it's going to be east of 65, and that, of course, includes Rutherford County. 65 runs north-south through Nashville and Franklin and down into Alabama. So we are definitely east of that area. And that's where the thinking is the chance for higher probabilities of severe storms. And a level 2 out of 5 for severe weather here today. Severe thunderstorm watch goes until 8 p.m. Let me just pull up another radar source just to make sure that we've got the current reflectivity going. So if you live anywhere like Marathon Trail, Sunnyside, Cherry Hill Estates, Colonial Village, this is getting ready to cross 840 over into Bethel, Cherry Lane Acres, Walter Hill Estates, if you live in some of those areas. But meteorologist Ray Miller is joining here now, even further up north in Laverne, crossing in Weekly Hills, the Percy Priest area, Jefferson Springs. Ray, what are you seeing with this storm?
Well, this has split up just a little bit. We have 2 pockets of heavier precipitation that could still contain a little bit of quarter-sized hail. Overall, the hail signature much less impressive than it was earlier than when this was moving over parts of Williamson County. But still the potential here for at least a little bit of quarter-sized hail. And we're also getting multiple reports of smaller hail. So for the Smyrna area over toward Walter Hill, still that potential for at least some dime to nickel-sized hail and potentially a few quarter-sized hailstones. So hence the warning is continuing, even though the radar signature in terms of hail is not nearly as impressive as it was even just a few minutes ago. We are still seeing some indications on radar further up in the storm that there may still be a little bit of hail aloft in this thing. So for folks in that northwestern, call it roughly the northwestern and north central quarter of Rutherford County, again from Smyrna over toward Walter Hill, that threat for a little bit of quarter-sized hail does continue. Still a threat for a brief gust of wind up to 60 miles an hour as well. In fact, a little bit more pronounced wind signature now just northeast of Smyrna. Nothing that gets us really excited in terms of severe wind potential, but a little bit gusty right along the 840 Beltway between Walter Hill and Smyrna. Some gusts to 40, perhaps 50 miles an hour, not out of the question in that part of the thunderstorm now.
Yeah, Ray, the National Weather Service did a little trimming on this warning. So, just a small sliver from really Rock Springs, Rocky Fork to the west has been taken out of this and kind of updated the information in the warning to say nickel-sized hail. So we're not even talking quarters at this point. So the hail threat seems, as you just mentioned, to be going down a bit.
It is decreasing a bit. I think this warning would frankly be canceled outright if we didn't have that slim chance of seeing that 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. Again, particularly right along Interstate 840, right along the Beltway right now, between Smyrna and Walter Hill. The last couple of radar scans, just looking at some of the velocity indications, a little bit more of a suggestion of some stronger winds of at least 40 to 50 miles an hour. And a 60-mile-an-hour gust still looking a little bit... it's not the most likely signature I've ever seen, but can't rule out a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. So probably a good idea to have this warning continuing here for at least a few more minutes.
Yeah, the line is kind of surging out, or a bit of a bow. So that's kind of where those winds could be the strongest, and it's right along 840. Looks like so.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of a bowing structure, and then when you go in and look at the actual Doppler display, look at what the actual winds are doing. In fact, a new picture just now came in with a brand new timestamp from about 30 seconds ago, and now it is looking a little more significant. I'd be much more confident in predicting 60-mile-an-hour winds right along the Wilson and Rutherford County line, right over Interstate 840.
All right, Ray, appreciate the update here. We'll keep on it, and this severe thunderstorm warning is going to continue for another 28 minutes. Storm specialist Ray Miller joining us. Let me pull over to the velocity product here. And yeah, so that's kind of right around the Rutherford Wilson County line, as Ray was just mentioning, where we are keeping an eye out. Let's take a look out of our Siegel Skycam here for just a moment. Got the winds picking up, or they seem to anyway. So there is a look at two of our cameras and the radar products. So we'll go with that here for a moment. And we're continuing coverage on the Rutherford Weather Channel, also on WGNS Radio 1019, 100.5 on your FM dial, and the Heritage AM 1450. Winds have definitely started to pick up out there. This has nickel-sized hail possibilities. But here's that leading edge that we were talking about, really along 840, nearing the Cedar Crest Golf Club. There's Mona Road. There is State Route 266, or Jefferson Pike, as it snakes through Mona. We'll be coming up toward Silver Hill next. Some residential areas. There's the Mona residential recreation area. The subdivision between Jefferson Pike and Lebanon Pike, or 231, just got a scan, so we're pushing right through Mona now and the golf course area. Continuing off to the north and east. Let me pull up. Yeah, it looks like we're right on it here. So this is, if for those watching, this may be a little different view than you're normally seeing. These are the winds. We'll give you a look at the normal view here. And you are kind of seeing a bit of a surging. Those are the kinds of features. Second one here, really more down in that direction. But so let me call out some areas here. So heads up, Wilson Elementary School, the Mona Recreation area coming up toward Estes Acres, Juniper Acres, Walter Hill Estates, Bethel, and then the storm will be coming into Silver Hill in just a few. The leading edge of those winds about 2 miles away. And right on up 231 into Vine and into Wilson County. Silver Hill is the last small community before you get to Vine, which is in Wilson County there. So that's the northern extent of the storm. You may be listening or watching anywhere from really Siegel area to the south, and you're thinking, well, what's going on? We're tracking the possibility of severe storms, some which could contain hail. But I do believe that while this, we'll stick with it here for another few moments. I think it's going to be out of the warning area before the actual warning ends, possibly. So if you're joining on WGNS Radio 1019, 100.5, this is Bryan Barrett. We're covering the severe thunderstorm warning for North Rutherford County for another 18 minutes. Really getting some downpours in Smyrna from Stewartsboro Elementary to Smyrna High School, the Nissan Assembly Plant, David Urey School, Nice Mill Recreation Area. That's where our heaviest rains are located right now. Seems like this storm is taking a bit more of a northern jog here, northeastern anyway. Seeing some small hail at the Smyrna Town Hall. That being reported by meteorologist Justin Bailey. But it is Pease So pea-size hail. Northern Wilson County, for our friends up that way, about to get a new severe thunderstorm warning. Typing this to the National Weather Service. Not many wind reports from these storms today, at least not here. So what you're seeing is a look off to the west in that top view. That's just outside the studios of the radio station, looking off to the northeast. The picture you see at the bottom is in the Siegel area, looking off to the northwest. And you can see that storm is now kind of on the right side of that view. Had a good look at it, kind of marching from left to right across that. Maybe seeing some pretty good size hail in Lake Farm Estates. Yep, that's exactly where we're seeing the radar. And when I say good size hail, this storm is warned for Nichols. And where Justin was at the town hall, he was seeing pea-size hail. So that would make sense. Some of the larger hail falling. Lake Farm Estates, Florence Road, Enon Springs Road East, Nissan Assembly Plant. That could exactly be, honestly, where he was reporting that a moment ago. So if he's reporting pea-size hail, and we're seeing the radar estimates of nickel-size hail, that would make a lot of sense. Well, we have an extension of the severe thunderstorm warning, so welcome all of our friends in Lascassas out toward Milton, just across the county line in Canesville in Wilson County. You're now included in a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for another 44 minutes. So until 5 o'clock or so. It also includes the northern portion of Cannon County, including Auburntown. It's going to be north of Porterfield, out in the Halls Hill Pike area, just north of there. North of Browns Mill in Lascassas, so kind of the northern half of Lascassas, if you will. Take a look at some of our camera views. This is looking off to the north. We are trying to pick the general area, and we're looking straight into that storm from there. From the Rutherford County Courthouse, you can see some what they're called low dangly bits. There's the clouds that kind of have lower little fingers moving through in the northern part of that storm too. They're also called scary looking clouds. So no official term for them. Here is the northern, I'd say the northern third of Rutherford County with the take Rock Springs Elementary out, and on Rocky Fork Road, just east of Rocky Fork, or just west of Rocky Fork, going into neighboring Williamson County, is not included in this storm. Portions of Laverne, but doesn't include the Bridgestone Firestone Distribution Center. I'm going to have to find another few landmarks up there in Laverne, since that one, unfortunately, is going away. But right now, it's Lake Farm Estates. Just kind of make sure we have all of the latest. Winds easily 40 miles an hour, maybe 50 miles an hour. Right along 231 right now. So next up, our friends over in Noreen, Gainesville over in the Wilson County area. Between Bethel and Valley View, right around the intersection of Jefferson Pike and toward Las Casas. So this would be east of 231. Then the entire, eastern corner of the county that was not under this warning before is now under this severe thunderstorm warning. But just so you know, the majority of Rutherford County is not dealing with a severe thunderstorm. Also, although we see a storm just to the south, but looks like that one's going to mainly stay in that area. Meteorologist Ray Miller with us to give us an update on this new severe thunderstorm warning extension here.
And this is almost exclusively for the threat for strong winds, although we have seen a very slight uptick in the hail potential now around Walter Hill, especially just west of Walter Hill, right over Interstate 840. Still not a great hail signature, but it is stronger than it has been at any point in the last 20 minutes or so. So a little bit of hail potential, but the wind indication has really picked up here. A very clear signal now of 60 to perhaps even 65 mile an hour winds right along the Highway 231 corridor from Walter Hill on up to the north into southern portions of Wilson County and moving east roughly right along the county line. So we're talking about areas as this moves further east. Basically, if you're along and north of Highway 96, that's going to be the area of concern for strong wind. Anything south of that, you may see a little bit of a brief gust, but the greatest risk for 60 to 65 mile an hour winds will be along and north of 96 and right along the Rutherford and Wilson County line. So if you're in that area, it's time to move to shelter if you haven't already. Some strong winds headed your way.
All right, Ray, thank you for the update. I've kind of got this area boxed off here so you can see that for those watching. So anywhere Canesville towards St. John's, moving off to the east in that particular area. Looks like right along Simmons Bluff Road, east of Vine. That'll be coming up toward Highway 266 as it makes its way into Nashville and then splits off from 96 going east into Milton. So right along State Route 96. So here, Las Casas Colonial Acres, Jerrison Farms, Canebrake, Las Casas proper, eventually out toward Milton. That's where we're seeing some strong winds with this warning. 60 mile per hour winds, maybe some small hail with that. Let's look at the hail potential here and where we might be seeing some. Again, we had very small hail reported before, pea-size hail. And really, the only area where we may be seeing some hail is right around the Mona area. It just updated and crossed over Jefferson Pike in Mona. So if you're seeing any hail, it's going to be right before or right after, where that landing strip is for the private airstrip. Moving up toward Lebanon Pike here, or just south of Cedar Crest. That's where we could be seeing some hail. Would be interested to see when this storm was over the Smyrna Town Hall. Meteorologist Justin Bailey reported that the hail was about the size of peas. So that is only quarter-inch hail. And that is below severe limits. 1-inch hail, quarter-size hail, or larger puts you in severe hail limits. Let's take a look here with our camera views. One looking off to the northeast from downtown Murfreesboro, just off the square. And some pretty angry clouds looking off to the north and east as this storm has made it into that direction. And even seeing some lightning, not lightning, but lighter areas of not dealing with a ton of cloud cover further to the west. Maybe some breaks in the clouds. That was the word that was eluding me. So back to take a look at radar here. And we are really seeing the winds pick up here on the northern edge of this. Let me get in here and take a look. Yep. So I'm going to call some communities. Some damaging straight line winds could be coming up on the door there in Noreen. So that's up into Wilson County. The southern extent of the storm, maybe toward Valley View. And these are neighborhoods, so I'm not able really to see Church Knob. That is an area where we may see some high winds. Barlow Lane in Las Casas. So really, if you are along Las Casas Highway here, going into Las Casas, you might want to park the car under the carport and make sure that you're away from any windows just in case we have some tree limbs come down. You just never know with these trees, man. I've got several older trees on my property, and came home one day, we had just a little high wind, and there's a pretty good sized limb that had fallen. Kind of crazy. In terms of where the rain is falling now, Silver Hill down to Estes Acres to the east, Valley View, coming on into Wilson County. But just a small sliver of the county right now. Really just south of the Super Speedway. About to stop raining at Cedar Crest Golf Course and Wilson Elementary School. There's Estes Acres. Here you go. This is the small sliver of Rutherford County that has the precipitation within it, where the heavier rains are falling. And if we take a look to see if there's any hail within that, there may be some small hail right around the Silver Hill area. And just south of that, where you see the reds, that would kind of show where we could possibly have hail. And it kind of lines up with what we're seeing on another product that shows that. This is what Ray was talking about a moment ago. These two storms, they kind of split here a little bit, and the energy has definitely done that. So we're talking anywhere from the Mona Recreation Area, Estes Acres, up towards Silver Hill. This includes close to Cedar Crest Golf Club, Wilson Elementary School, Lebanon Pike. It's where we could have some small hail falling from that. But this is a storm that had the wind energy, and that wind energy is definitely on into Noreen and Canesville right now. So I think we are going to be good here in the next couple of minutes to go back to regular programming. are kind of watching another little storm that we talked about coming through Franklin, but it is not severe warned at this point. Be into Laverne any second now. Downtown or east of Laverne in about 10-15 minutes. See if that updated that. Yep. Most of the county, no worries. We have picked up a few lightning strikes outside of the stormage, close to Blackman and 840. And some more severe thunderstorm warnings further south in Middle Tennessee. National Weather Service said about 45 minutes ago, areas east of 65 stand the best chance of seeing maybe some severe weather this afternoon. And right here is 65. And Rutherford County, of course, well east of 65. These storms are having a little trouble, as you can see, going severe. But once they get east of 65, they really organize. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different severe thunderstorm warnings for that one storm that has pretty much raced on through. There's just a small sliver here in Rutherford County, so I think this does offer us a chance to begin to break away here on radio. This warning is supposed to go for another 30 minutes. One just fell off. I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to see this one trimmed back here in just a few, and that would not include Rutherford County. There was a storm down in Marshall County as well, that one we were looking at a moment ago. That storm has had a warning, and it does not now. This storm is going to continue to be healthy up toward Watertown, so getting some reports of these are radar reports of hail up to golf ball size. So I need to reestablish my connection here. And what we will do, again, is we will break away on our coverage from radio. But I would like to remind you that if you are listening and want to continue to keep up with the weather, we're going to keep the Rutherford Weather Channel going for a moment. And just like that, the warning for Rutherford County has been canceled. So with the warning canceled, remains in effect for southeastern Williamson County, but canceled for northeastern Rutherford and north central Cannon counties. So that will kind of wrap us up here on radio. Thanks for joining on 1019, 100.5 WGNS in Murfreesboro and in Smyrna. Got just another couple of moments here, and we will join up with the news, but stay with us right here on WGNS and Rutherford Weather. Give me a moment to get our breakaway done, and we'll talk a little bit here on the Rutherford Weather Channel. No warnings right now. That's good news. Trying to get it to a point where I can join up with the time correctly. What you're seeing here on Rutherford Weather, Rutherford County, right here. That does not include I'll do something more than draw a circle. Here's the county line. It's right where that warning is going on the other side, right? Okay. I think I can monitor that. So, good news, no warning. Even better news, not really dealing with any near term issue. So, I think that will possibly allow us to kind of take a step back, make sure things are going well, and kind of give you a rough outline of Rutherford County. It's always nice to know roughly where you're looking if you've got a wide view here. So that's Rutherford County. Obviously, looking in areas down Mount Pleasant to Lawrenceburg, a little further north, that complex that caused all of our warnings here. Now Lebanon, down into just much of Wilson County, dealing with that as it lifts off to the north and east. But we'll leave you here with our camera shots and the look at radar, and we'll kind of keep you informed on all of that here this afternoon. There's the radar in motion. We could see some storms rebuild. We'll just have to wait and see. But right now, with no warnings, we're going to leave our stream up and going here for a little bit and let you continue. We've been going on here for about 40 minutes. But no warnings in Rutherford County right now. And we'll keep an eye on it. Stay with Rutherford Weather. And be sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you will always be informed on the latest Rutherford weather.